I think this will be much more consistent than the pile I was running before. Much more consistent. Hello, peoples of the interwebs. I am once again Zarlin, and I just got off of doing a 3.5 hour stream of the new NNR Rarity Festival with this deck. I did do tweaks of it throughout the stream, but this is the final product that I reached during this stream, and I think it's in an okay place. It does have a little bit of trouble against metal foes, but I beat a Shiranui deck, a couple of others. It's hanging in there okay. So, this is the updated version. It has changed a lot since the video I made last week. Mostly we've streamlined the goals of this deck. Mostly because I found out that, after a little bit of research, that Paralyus, Empress of Blossoms, is a level 7 that we can make very easily. And can do a lot of good things for us. But getting ahead of myself. This deck, when I was playing it earlier in the stream, one of the problems I had a lot of problems with, that's a great sentence, was that I didn't have a lot of non-tuners. So, Sangan is kind of a way to alleviate that. First off, it's a level 3 non-tuner. Good start. And it can grab most of the stuff in your deck. Junk Forward is also a level 3 non-tuner and can special summon itself. There are some problems if you open like Junk Forward and White Rose Cloister. They compete with themselves since you have to have an empty board both times in order for them to special summon. But it's a really good card. Level 3. Special summons. Psychic Tracker is one of the best non-tuners in the deck. I'd run 6 if I could, but you can't. Also, it gives you a attack boost on whatever you need. Then the Rose package. Red Rose Dragon is our best tuner, pretty much. The entire time, it's pretty much just the best tuner. You synchro it off, it gets another one of the red roses onto the field for you, so you can go even farther. As I said in the last deck profile, Rose Princess, it is a level 3 non-tuner, but most of the time we're using it for grabbing White Rose Cloister. Rose Girl is not great. Honestly, if I could have Psychic Tracker, or not Psychic Tracker, Psychic Wheeler, I would obviously put that in here instead. But there are some edge cases where it's okay, not great. Rox Rose, second best tuner in the deck. When it's normal or special, you get either Red Rose Dragon into your hand, or this trap that is becoming less and less relevant the more I go through this deck, but whatever. Another thing that has come up a couple of times when using Rox Rose is that if you have a Rox Rose already in grave and you want to just like stall for time to get, another draw, and your opponent only can put like one monster out on the field, you can set a Rox Rose with a Rox Rose in grave, and they'll just cycle each other until you can get the draw that you need, hopefully. It's not the best strategy, but it is an okay stall strategy in a format that's not as high power level as Yu-Gi-Oh! Usually is. The best non-tuner that isn't Psychic Tracker, White Rose Dragon. I I could see this card more than I did. Obviously, if you normal summon it, you can special summon a red or a rocks from hand or grave along with it. If you have one of those already on field, you can special it. And when it gets synchroed, it sends a level 4 or higher plant to the grave, which is our only garnet now, which is regenerating rose. We never want to see this in our opening hands at all. We want to send this off of white rose. This is literally just here so we can reborn it with Paralysis. I added this Mark of the Rose at the same time that I did a lot of the reconstruction. Unfortunately, you can't search it or anything, but it's basically Snatch Steal, where we banish a plant from our grave. I've never drawn it in any of my testing, so that's just unfortunate. White Rose Cloister gives us a free special summon if we have an empty board for any of our Rose Dragons or plants. If we do happen to open Regenerating Rose and White Rose, we can special it to get it in the graveyard that way. We've got 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. This card has trolled me more than it's helped me, but when it does help me, it's really good. I don't know what to say. Forbidden Chalice, really useful staple. Blanks an enemy effect. I've also used it to beat over enemies. We've got Torrential Tribute, really good staple. And honestly, this is just here as like maybe link fodder. I've used it as link fodder before, but it's not that generally useful. But it's still in here because it's searchable. There are some edge cases where it's okay. Onto the extra deck, we're playing this so we can float from our other Odd Eyes Dragon. It's really just a big body that we float into, so don't really worry about it too much. Stardust Assault Warrior is kind of like the 15th card in this extra deck because I wanted another 6 since we go into 6s quite often. You can grab Junk Forward from it, and it pierces, which has come up a couple of times. Stardust Charge Warrior lets us draw a card. Other than that, it's not too useful, but I mean, if we need to draw more into our deck, we need to draw more into our deck. What can I tell you? Hyper Psychic Riser is very interesting. It is kind of a floodgate that floats. Monsters with less attack than it can't attack, and monsters with more attack than it can't activate their effects. And then when it is destroyed by an opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner monster with the same type and attribute. So we're always grabbing, hopefully, a White Rose and like a Rocks Rose. But if you have Rose Princess and Rose Girl in the grave, you can also grab those. So it's kind of a floodgate that floats. Pretty good. We still have Psy-Frame Lord Zeta here. He's not as useful. We don't go into him as much as before. He's kind of a last resort of I need to get rid of something on the field. But he's not super useful, but he comes in. And then we've added 2 Paralysis Empress of Blossoms. The best thing you can do is go Red Rose Dragon and White Rose Dragon. into Paralyus. You have White Rose Dragon send, regenerating Rose. Paralyus then grabs the regenerating Rose onto the field so we can go into level 7, or rank 7 Xyz. We got Giganticastle. He's there if we need a big boy with big beefy arms. Bamboozling Gossip Shadow is still here as kind of a good level 3. He's pretty okay. Jaja is also kind of situational level 3. It can be okay removal, but honestly, you want to be using your level 3s for synchros if possible. Evil Swarm Nightmare was put in here for times where I had 2 White Roses on the field, and obviously that's the only card that can make it. This could be changed for a lot of different other things. We could put another level 6 in here in this slot and probably be a better idea. But, yeah. And then, Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon is kind of like Utopia that floats. You detach a material and you stop an attack from happening, and then if it's destroyed, it goes into Vortex. Unfortunately, we don't get a lot of Vortex's effects, and Vortex misses timing a lot, so it's just a big bungus. But the thing about this big bungus is he's also a level 7. So we can go into more rank 7s if we get more rank 7s on the field while he's there. Speaking of rank 7s, we also have Dark Armed Dragon of Annihilation. He pops. Lots of pops. Unfortunately, he can't attack after he pops, but he has lots of pops. And then we have Transverser and Berserker of the Tenyi for basically the cases where we need to get around something on their field that we can't attack over, and they were stupid enough to put it in the right spaces for us to be able to take it, and then link it off into Berserker of the Tenyi. So yeah, this has been a really fun deck to play with. And I'm going to continue playing the NNR Festival. And so, if you think it would be a fun thing, here's the deck list. And I'm going to show a highlighted game or two after this. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Okay. This is actually an okayish hand, kind of. I would have had Psychic Tracker is such a good card. I wish I could play more of it. The fact that Psychic Wheeler is an SR really hurts this deck. Psychic Wheeler would be so much better than Rose Girl. What the fuck is this? Okay, you can synchro from your hands. Mm-hmm. No. Everything is fine. Ooh. Okay. Okay. We can do this. Red Rose Dragon. We get Rocks Rose. Send that to the grave. Activate Rocks Rose. Add this to my hand. It's odd that you got this now. That's a little crappy. No, we're not gonna do that. Did I send? I did. I think we just summon this. We had a free special summon of it earlier, but It's a little iffy, but we can take it. Living in the line. Yeah, 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 yeah. This acts as like a pseudo floodgate. It's not a very good floodgate, but there's some floodgate-ness to it. You know, ever since I revamped this deck, I haven't drawn the mark. Okay. Oh, it's fucking banished! I want to get rid of that. It'd be better to attack the token, but it's just not worth it. What the fuck is this card? Okay. Another one? Fucking hell. And it's gonna banish. Wait. Oh, it's still gonna banish anyways. He's just gonna take damage for it. Okay. Do I have any sixes left? No. Their effects are negated, but you can still synchro with them. You have a 7 that you can go into. Oh yeah, of course you do. Okay. Got to be effect monsters. I put the token in the wrong zone. It actually fucking works. Come on. Okay. I had to think through that. But we did it. We beat a Shiranui deck.